Whether you're trying to get more users to visit your website, watch a video all the way through, or make a purchase on your website, there's probably a campaign objective on Snapchat that can help you achieve that. Each of the objectives is designed for a different goal based on what you're trying to achieve with your marketing campaigns, and they all have different optimization actions as well as different settings that can help you achieve those goals. So today, I want to run through the different campaign objectives that are available on Snapchat ads as of early 2022. The easiest way to run through all of the different Snapchat campaign objectives is going to be to just create a new campaign and then never save any of it. So I'm in an account that has some campaigns running, and I'm going to go ahead and come down here to create campaign. And then you're offered the option of doing instant create, where you can create a single ad in less than 5 minutes just by adding creative, defining your audience, and hitting publish. But odds are you probably want to have a little bit more control if you're watching videos on the Paid Media Pros channel. We're going to choose the advanced create option that allows us to take full control over our ads. Whenever you create a new campaign, the first thing you do is choose your objective, and there are a handful of them that are broken up very similar to a number of other channels. The one that it's probably closest to is Facebook, which if you're interested in the Facebook campaign objectives, you can check out the video at the top of the screen right now. But here you'll also see that campaign objectives are broken down into 3 columns: awareness, consideration, and conversions. So depending on which portion of the buyer funnel you want to engage with them on, use the campaign objectives from the right column that make the most sense. For this video, we're going to go through each one of them in order, and I'll tell you the slight differences between them. So first, let's start off all the way over here in the awareness column with the awareness objective. Each time you choose a new campaign objective, it's going to adjust these settings down here at the bottom, and it'll tell you what it's about. The objective of an awareness campaign is to increase awareness of your brand or product. Pretty self-explanatory. The remaining settings down here at the bottom, I'm going to go through this once, and then I'm not going to talk about them for the rest of the campaign objectives until we get to catalog, because they're all the same for the vast majority of the campaign objectives. First, you get to give your campaign a name. You get to choose the status, whether it's active or paused. You can decide to create a split test, which is a new feature that we'll probably put together a video on in the future. You can then decide the start and end date of your campaign, and whether or not you want to have a daily spend cap or a lifetime spend cap on the campaign. Overall, relatively simple, so that we're just going to come down here and click next. In this video, I'm going to spend most of the time on the ad set details section of the Snapchat campaign builder, because this is where all of the different controls and optimization actions for each campaign objective live. The first thing you get to do is decide if you want to have your Snap Pixel attached to it, which I would highly suggest that you do, and then if you want to have any sort of Snap ID tracking in place. This is a topic for a potential different video later down the line, so I'm not going to get too detailed with that, but the portion that you're probably more interested today is going to be on ad format. With the awareness campaign, you have the most ad formats available on Snapchat. You can use single image or video, story, collection, AR lens, or a filter. I'm not going to go through each of the individual ad formats in this video, otherwise it would be way too long. And we already have another video put together that you can check out at the top of the screen right now that walks through all of the different ad formats on Snapchat. Once you choose your different ad format, you'll then be able to choose the ad type. Since we currently have it selected on single image or video, you can decide whether you want it to be an image or a video, or if you want it to be commercial, meaning that it is a non-skippable video up to 6 seconds long, or the equivalent of a bumper ad on YouTube, or if you want it to be an extended play commercial, which is currently in beta, where you can have an option to skip the video after 6 seconds. The last option you get to choose down here is going to be your attachment, or effectively the way that somebody is going to engage with your ad when they see it as a part of their Snapchat experience. So in the option that we have right now, we're in single image or video ad. You can choose for somebody to engage in a long form video, a website visit, an app install, a deep link, or an AR lens. The attachment option will always change based on the different ad format, so I'm probably not going to go too into detail for each of those different ad formats and different attachments for this video, but just know that each time you change what your ad format is, you'll likely be able to opt into a different attachment if there are multiple different options available for that ad format. As we keep scrolling down, we can then see that we have different placement, location, demographics, audiences, and device targeting options for Snapchat. And you'll also notice that I'm scrolling all the way past those. because all of those are going to be identical across all of the different campaign types on Snapchat, so I'm not going to talk about those. But instead, if you want to learn more about the targeting options on Snapchat, you can check out the video that's at the top of the screen right now. The last section we're going to talk about is delivery. Overall, most of this will be relatively similar. Every ad set will let you choose the status, whether it's active or paused. You can then choose the budget, whether it's daily or lifetime, and then the start and end dates for each ad set. The portions that will be different for each of the campaign objectives are going to be once we start getting into the goal areas down here. So for an awareness campaign, the goal is impressions. You'll notice that there are no ways to customize this. I can't choose anything different. If you want to get impressions on your ads, and that's really all you're looking for, awareness is probably the right campaign objective for you. You can then also choose a different bid strategy if you want to. It recommends using the auto bid, which makes its best effort to spend your budget while also trying to get you the best cost per action it can on Snap. But if you want to use bid controls, you can use a max bid in awareness campaigns, and that allows you to set a maximum bid per 1,000 impressions. Snapchat then gives you a suggested range down here at the bottom. For this instance, it's between $2.95 and $4.46. But that suggested bid will change based on all of the other information that you've added in your ad set up to this point. For now, just so I don't have any errors, I'm going to switch back to automated bid. And then the last piece of customization we can use for awareness campaigns that the others do not have is this frequency cap, which basically allows us to set a maximum number of times a user is exposed to our ad during a period of time. So if I come down here and set a per user frequency cap, you can first start off by choosing whatever number of impressions you want, the maximum number of impressions per, and then the number of days that you want that to happen over. So right now it's set to 1 impression per every 7 days, or 1 impression a week. If that's what you want your campaign to be set at, great, but you can customize this for whatever you want your frequency cap to be. Once you've adjusted all those settings, you can click Next and start to customize your ads based on the ad format that you have. Then you'll be able to review and launch your campaign, and you'll be all set for your awareness campaign. But for now, I'm going to shift back into the next campaign objective. The second and last campaign objective in the awareness column is actually a new option to promote places. I have that selected, so if I scroll down, you can see that Promote Places is trying to get you to promote your places to Snapchatters. Again, relatively easy. We'll skip the rest of the settings and go to ad sets. The first piece you need to do at the ad set level is choose what place you want to promote. You're going to type in a place name and then a specific zip code or city, and then click search and have the options show up. The first thing you need to choose is what place you want to promote. Each place is going to have to already be established in the Snapchat database for you to be able to target it. Since I just said target, why don't we use that as an example? So I'm going to come in here and for place name, I'm going to type in Target, and then for the zip code or city, I'll just type in Indianapolis. Now I just need to click search, and now I have a list of all of the target places that I could promote with my Snapchat campaign. Not only that, but it designates the difference between target optical and regular target and the distribution center. So there's all sorts of different options you can have here. Let's say for now I'm just going to click this target, and now we have the place designated that we would want to promote. You would notice that in that section, if I come here and click search again, you do have the option to suggest a place if the place that you are trying to promote isn't listed in the database. If for some reason I didn't have the right address, or I simply couldn't find the type of place I was trying to promote, you can suggest that to Snapchat to have them add it to their database. Overall, very easy process. Once we start getting into the details, you can either add your Snap Pixel or the ID tracking, but you'll also notice that the only type of ad format and attachment are going to be the single image or video and the place itself. So you really are limited when it comes to the types of ad formats and the attachment type. But again, if you're trying to promote a place, this is going to be the best combination that you can use out of all the different campaign objectives. If we then scroll down a little bit, you can see that the targeting options look a little bit different because we are going to only use a radius target around the place that we are looking to promote. So depending on how far out you think somebody would travel to get to your target location that you're promoting, be sure that you're using the right mile radius around that specific point. All the remaining other targeting options are going to be the same until we get down to the last section of the page. And the last options we have are for the goal and bidding options. So for a promoted place campaign, the only goal that you can optimize toward is a swipe up, but you can use a target cost or max bid bidding strategy as compared to the auto bid option if you think that that's going to yield you better results. Now we've gone through both awareness campaigns, let's shift into the considerations section of the page. The first one is going to be app installs. And the campaign objective for this is going to be pretty self-explanatory. Send Snapchatters to the App Store to download your app. In this example, I do not have an app that is going to be available for this account, so there's probably going to be some errors, but that's okay. If you have an app, you'll be able to fill out that section. For app install campaigns, there are only 2 ad formats. You can use single image or video or a story ad, and then your attachment has to be app install. You can also opt into the SK ad network if you want to with your app install campaign. And if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, we do have a little bit of control when it comes to the goal and the bidding strategies that we have in place. So first, we now actually have an option for a drop-down with the goal section. We can choose from install, impressions, swipe up, app purchase, sign up, or add to cart. So there are some different actions you can have in here. It doesn't have to just be an install campaign. And then based on whatever you determine as your goal, you can decide if you want to use auto bid, target cost, which is recommended, or a max bid strategy for that specific action. Overall, these options are going to feel very similar to the app conversions campaign we'll see in a little bit. So it's a little bit curious that they have them have a number of the same capabilities, but they didn't ask me, and I also won't keep my opinions to myself because why not? I'm the one with the microphone. Jumping into the next campaign objective is going to be to drive traffic to website or to get people to engage with your website. As I mentioned, all of the other settings down below are going to be the same. So let's hop into the ad set. And again, a traffic objective only has 2 ad formats available, single image or video, and the collection ad. And then the attachments type is only website. Since you're trying to drive traffic to the website based on your campaign objective, it makes sense that the website is the only attachment type you can use. I've jumped down to the delivery section so we can start looking at the specific goals on the page. It's going to default you to a swipe up, or effectively the click on the ad, but you can also optimize for a page view. Think of this as the difference between a link click and a landing page view on Facebook. You can optimize either for the engagement itself or for the action once the page view is tracked through your Snap Pixel. Whichever one makes the most sense for you, choose that option, and then you'll be able to decide if you want to use the automated bid, target cost, or max bid to optimize for that specific goal. The next campaign objective is going to feel very similar, but instead of driving traffic to a website, we're going to drive traffic to an app. So this is a step down from the app installs. Now we're trying to drive traffic to the app specifically. Similar to the website traffic campaign, we only have the same 2 ad formats of single image or video and collection ad, and the attachment type is also fixed at deep link, where you send people to a specific link or a specific experience within the app that you're trying to promote. Once we get down to goals, the options are also fixed for a swipe up, and then we have the different bidding options for automated, target, or max bid to get people to engage with the ad itself and then drive them to the app page. Moving right along, the next type of campaign that we can use in the consideration stage is going to be engagement. These are trying to get people to engage with your ad on the Snapchat platform. So if we click next, now we have a number of different ad formats available. This is looking a little bit closer to what we saw when we had the awareness campaign, because people can engage with your ad without having to go anywhere with different ad formats like a filter, an AR lens, a single image or video, or a story ad. Since this campaign type has defaulted me to filter, there is no attachment type, but if you choose the AR lens, you can choose a different attachment type of either website, long-form video, app install, deep link, or none. Same thing would be true for the single image or video. You can choose a number of different attachment types, whether it's AR lens, call, or text. And then the story ad goes back to having no attachment types available. So even though the campaign objective is focused on engagement, depending on which ad format you use, you can also get a secondary engagement type based on the attachment option that you have associated with it. If we come down and see the goals, you'll notice that this is going to be impacted by the ad format I had chosen. I left the option as stories up at the top, so the goal is going to be for story opens, but if you choose either the filter or the AR lens, the goal will be for a share, and if you use the single image or video ad, the goal will be for a swipe up. So depending on which ad format you use, your goal will change, but you will still be able to bid either at the auto bid, target cost, or max bid for each of those goals, no matter which of the different actions you choose. The next campaign objective is going to be video views, where we're trying to get Snapchatters to watch our videos on the platform. So if I click next, you'll see that we're back to a very limited ad format. We can only use single image or video, which really should just say single video because it's a video ad. And then if I scroll down, there are some customizable pieces around the ad type. This will be similar to one of the ones that we saw earlier, where you can use either a tap to skip ad with a variety of attachment options. So that's this image or video. We can use commercial, which is non-skippable up to 6 seconds, or the extended play commercial, where you can skip but only after 6 seconds of the video have shown. We then also get the option for a number of different attachments: long form video, website, app install, deep link, or AR lens. And then when we visit the goal section of the page, you'll see we do have the option to optimize either for a 15-second or a 2-second video view. So depending on which length of video you have, choose the right bidding strategy that makes sense for you. And then you'll only be able to use the auto bid or max bid for that 15-second video view goal optimization. The last campaign objective in the consideration stage is going to be lead generation. And for the sake of this video, I'm going to focus really only on that ad set option. But don't worry, we will be putting together a longer video that covers how to set up a lead generation campaign on Snapchat from start to finish in the coming weeks or months. Just like any of the other platforms, lead generation campaigns on Snapchat are trying to get you to generate leads for your business directly on the platform so that users don't have to leave Snapchat but can still become a lead to your business. Lead generation ads can have 3 different formats, whether it's story, single image or video, or a collection ad, and the attachment type you'll see here is lead form. You can adjust it to be website, but that really doesn't make sense to me because that would just be a website traffic campaign. So odds are for this one, you want to stick with lead form as your attachment type because that's how the user is going to engage with your ad on Snapchat. Down in the delivery section, the goal is going to be focused on a swipe up, and you can do a target cost or max bid for that swipe up engagement. You'll notice that for some reason the goal does not allow you to choose the actual lead form fills as an option. I really don't like that, but I'm still not going to complain when people give us the option to generate leads directly on the platform. We'll see if maybe Snapchat advances this and tries to have the goal be for the lead form fills in future weeks and months. Hopefully by the time we record the video where we walk through a lead generation campaign start to finish, we'll have the option to optimize for lead form fills, but we'll see. So that closes out all of the consideration campaign objectives on Snapchat. So now let's hop back to that first page and start going through the last section of campaign objectives. We now expect to use these campaign objectives as the furthest portion down the funnel, and the first one is going to be focused on app conversions. As I mentioned with all of the other campaigns, all of the different campaign setup settings on this page are the same, so I'm going to skip that and head right to ad set. For app conversion campaigns, you can use either a collection ad or a single image or video, and you can also choose whichever attachment type you want between either a deep link or an app install. If you opt for an app install, I would suggest that you use the app install campaign objective as opposed to the deep link. Ideally here, since we're trying to drive the app conversions, you'll want to focus on the further stage within the app as opposed to the install itself. But we can also customize for which action we want somebody to take within the app down in the delivery and goal section of the page. The default goal is going to be for you to swipe up on those different ads, but you can opt into different actions, whether it's app install, purchase, or sign up, as long as you have all of these goals set up within your app ID on Snapchat. Again, if you want to use app install as the goal, you probably should use the app install campaign objective. Once you've chosen the action that you want for your goal, you have all 3 options of bidding, whether it's auto bid, target, or max bid, to try and get you as close as you can to the conversion actions that you want for the right cost on the platform. And the next campaign objective is going to be very similar, but instead of being for app conversions, it's going to be for website conversions. So once I've selected that, I can head into the ad set section. For website conversion campaigns, we have 4 ad formats available: story, single image or video, collection ad, or an AR lens, and the only attachment type is website. Again, we're trying to drive on-site conversion actions, so we really need to send people only to the website, otherwise we're not going to generate those actions. When we head down to the goal section of the page, we get to choose the action that we want to optimize for. Swipe up is going to be the default, but you can optimize for different actions within this, but you have to have your pixel set up, as you can see here. We do not have a pixel set up with all of the different actions in this account. So the only option we have available is page view, but you can see down here in the grayed out section, you can also use pixel purchase, pixel sign up, and add to cart. So if you have those different event actions set up on your website using the Snap Pixel, you'll be able to optimize for those goals within a website conversion campaign. Just like a number of other campaign types, you'll also then have the option for all 3 bidding strategies to optimize toward that goal. The last campaign type is going to be catalog sales. And similar to the disclaimer I said with the apps, I don't have a catalog that's actually properly set up for this account, so I'll try and walk you through some of the sections, but there are going to be some areas where I can't opt into it because the catalog isn't properly set up. This campaign type is also going to be a little bit different because I'm actually going to show you the campaign setup down here below because it is different than all of the other ones. You'll still see that there's the campaign objective overview, you get to name it and set your status, but after that you get to choose whether or not you want to use dynamic ads and automatically promote products from your catalog, or if you want to turn this off and then you would manually select products when building your ads. So depending on how you want your products to show up, whether Snap chooses them for you or if you choose them at the ad level, make sure that you choose the right option here. I'm going to go ahead and turn dynamic ads back on because there were some settings that were down here. If you are going to automatically promote products from your catalog, you will need to choose the catalog. This is this one base example that I set up for a previous video. It doesn't actually work, but there is an option to choose here, which is why it allows me to move forward. You can then see down here below that there are a few types of creatives that you can use. I can use website pieces, but I cannot use app install or deep link because my product catalog is not configured properly for that. My guess is that most of you are going to want to send somebody to a website anyway, so that probably wouldn't be a problem. But if you need to have people engage with an app or a deep link within that app, you're going to need to make sure that everything is properly set up so that people can be driven to those specific pages. At the ad set level, the first thing you get to do is choose your product set within the catalog. The default is going to be all products, but if you have made a product set within Snapchat, those will all show up here, and you can choose from whatever product set makes the most sense for the campaign that you're trying to optimize for in the moment. If we scroll down a little bit, we can then see that we have 3 different ad formats: single image, story ads, which are currently in beta, as well as collection ads. And then lastly, we get to choose the attachment type that we want to have, whether it's website, but again, I'm not eligible to use app install or deep link because my catalog is not configured correctly, but you could use any of these depending on how you have your catalog set up and what your goals are. Next is going to be the product audiences, and you can think about this very similar to how you would think about Facebook. We first get to choose whether we want to prospect for new users, which means that all of the audience targeting and device sections down below are going to be identical to all of the other campaign types, or you can choose that you want to use this campaign to retarget people, or effectively a dynamic product ads campaign as we would use on Facebook, and retarget people based on the actions they've taken on your website and the different products they've engaged with. Unfortunately, this is one of those features that I can't show you because this catalog is not set up properly. But if yours is, you could choose the option next to retargeting, and then you would get to choose the types of people that you want to engage with, and then the date ranges that they've engaged with you to retarget back into them. Overall, very similar to a Facebook dynamic product ads campaign. The last piece, all the way down in the goals section at the bottom of the page, Snapchat defaults you to a pixel purchase as the goal action, so effectively somebody actually making a purchase on your website, but you can adjust this to be any of the other pixeled events on your website. Depending on how your campaign's performing, maybe purchase isn't the right option for you. Maybe you want to bump it up the buyer funnel a little bit and get more ads to cart, or maybe there are some other mitigating factors and you need to use page view or sign up, something along those lines. But choose the right goal action that makes sense for you and what you're trying to optimize for the campaign. And then this is one of the few campaign types where Snapchat actually says that target cost is recommended as compared to the auto bid strategy. So here it's got that section open, and you can set your own target cost per pixel purchase. You'll notice that Snapchat does not suggest a certain range like it did for other campaign objectives, mostly because you need to determine what your target cost per purchase is based on the cost of your product, the amount of revenue that you make for it, and all sorts of other factors to make sure that whatever target cost you put in here will be profitable for your business. I know I went through each of those relatively quickly, but hopefully now you have an understanding of each campaign objective, the different types of ad formats and attachment types you can use, and which goals you can optimize for each of the different conversion objectives. My guess is that regardless of what your business is, there is a campaign objective that would work really well for you on Snapchat. You just have to find the right combination of all of those different aspects that we've talked about in this video. If you have any other questions about any of the objectives that I missed in this video, feel free to ask them in the comments. Thanks for watching our video. If you thought it was useful, give us a thumbs up below.
We release a new video at least once a week, so if you want to get notified of when a new one comes out, be sure to subscribe to the Paid Media Pros channel.